Make everything clear. Let's do the first question and see what this is all about. Mary bought some flour. She used 1/3 of the flour to bake a cake. Well, let's show that. Cake, 1/3 was used. Next, 2/5 was used to make some muffins. So for muffins, 2/5. Since we're dealing with the same total, the total shouldn't be different, 3 units and 5 units. Now we can make the total the same by turning the denominator to 15. Now paying attention to this is 5 units, this is 6 units. This adds up to 11 units. So if the total is 15 units, you can subtract what's used for the cake and the muffins, and you get 4 units left. And what fraction is that? 4 out of 15. Alfred twice as many as Betty. So let's show that. Alfred twice as many as Betty, 2U and 1U. If the Betty had 20 fewer. Now, Betty having 20 fewer also means Charlene had 20 more. So whatever Betty had, Charlene had 20 more than that. And the total is 68. So here we can form an equation. So 2U, 1U, 1U, 20 add up to 68. We can add the units together to give us 4 units plus 20. Now kick that 20 to the right hand side, it becomes a negative 20. So for 4 units is 48. Divided by 4, that gives us 1 unit is 12. Now we know that is the answer because the question is asking for Betty, and Betty turns out to be 1 unit. So the beauty of making everything clear, it's not really like a problem solving technique, it's just a good habit, which is what? Writing down your information, which I usually do on the left hand side, okay, and making sure everything is clear. So that when I read the last part of the question, how many paper clips did Betty have? I can tell straight away we are interested in 1 unit. That is the use of make everything clear. On to the third question. Judy spends 3 days making some kites for sale. Each day she made 4 kites more than the day before. So if day 1 is an unknown, let's call it 1 unit. Day 2 will be 4 more than the previous day, so 1U plus 4. Day 3 will be 4 more than day 2, so that's 1U plus 4 plus 4, that means 1U plus 8. And let's show that the total is 42. So we have made everything clear. How many kites did she make on the first day? Let's form an equation. That's a total of 3 units, 4, 8, totaling up to 42. That's 3U plus 12 equals 42. Move the 12 to the right hand side. That's a subtraction there, giving us 3 units equals 30. 1 unit is a division by 3, so it's 10. On the first day, what are we interested in? There you go, 1U. So the answer is 10. Again, making everything clear, what's the advantage here? So maybe if the question asks how many kites were made on the 3rd day, right? We can just refer to this and know that we are supposed to take 10 plus 8. Peter, James, Simon collected a total of 315. Nothing useful as yet. Peter had 3 times as many as Simon. So we can do something about that. We can say P, 3 units. Simon, 1 unit. Now James had 5 fewer than Simon. So whatever Simon had, James had 5 fewer. That's James, 1U minus 5, totaling up to 315. Again, let's form an equation. So we can say that 5 units minus 5 gets us 315. So if I see negative 5 on the left hand side, moving it to the right side will give us plus 5. So that would be a 320. 5 units is 320. 1 unit is therefore 320 divided by 5, giving us 64. Question, how many stems did James have? Making everything clear means we can just take a look at the left side here, and we are interested in 1U minus 5. So 5 less than 1U is therefore 64, minus 5 giving us 59. Serena spends 5 days making teddy bears for classmates. Each day she made 2 more than the day before. So if I say let the first day be 1 unit, then the second day will be 2 more than the previous, and so on and so forth. And we have a total of 5 days shown here, and a total of 35 teddy bears made. Right, how many teddy bears did she make on the 5th day? So we know for sure that we're interested in 1U plus 8. So let's form an equation with the information that we have. 5u plus all this, 35. Total all of them up, that's 20. Move it to the right side, that's minus 20. 5u is 15. 1 unit is therefore 15 divided by 5, giving us 3. And referring to the left side here, we are interested in 1u plus 8. So that's 3 plus 8, giving us 11. Janice spent 1/6 of her money on a dress and 1/3 of it on a wallet. Now, knowing that we are talking about the same total amount of money, the denominators should not be different. So I can turn 3 into 6 quite easily, just multiply by 2, and the equivalent fraction here is 2/6. What fraction of her money did she spend? So the spending on 2 items here, dress and wallet. What's the total fraction there? That's 1/6 plus 2/6. That gives us 3/6. Simplified is 1/2. Jovan has twice as many as Sean, so J has 2 units. Sean has 1 unit. Herman has triple as many as Jovan. So whatever Jovan has, 2 units, triple that. So that gives us 6 units. J has 240 fewer than H. So looking at 2u, J, and 6u, H, the difference is 20. So from here, we can say that 2u and 6u, the difference is 240. 4u, therefore, is 240. 1u is 60. How many marbles do they have all together? So we are going to total everything up. That's 2u, 1u, 2u, 2u, 1u, 6u. So that's 2u, 1u, 6u, total of 9 units. And therefore, 9 times 60 gives us 540 as the answer. This is an easy one. Mrs. Tan used 500 grams of flour to make some cakes, so make everything clear. Tan, 800 grams. Madam Rama used 500 more than Mrs. Tan, so whatever Mrs. Tan used, add 500 to it. That's 1300, making everything clear. Shamini used double, twice, as much as Rama, so whatever Rama had, multiply that by 2. Now, the question actually asks how many grams, so make sure your final answer is in grams, and Shamini is just what we have found right here. Right, a factory produced this number of cups, plates, and spoons. No info for us to act on at the moment. It manufactured 4 times as many cups as plates, so that's useful. Cups, 4 units, plates, 1 unit. Now, 216 more spoons than plates, so whatever spoons is 1 unit, add 216, and you get the number of spoons produced. So whatever the number of plates is, add 216. The total here, 3366. So question, how many spoons were there? Well, before that, let's form an equation. 4u, 1u, 1u, 216, that's the total. So that's 6 units, and we're going to move 216 to the right-hand side, giving us negative 216. So 3150, 1 unit is therefore 3150 divided by 6. Focusing on the left side again, spoons, we are interested in 1u plus 216. So whatever 1u we have found, okay, add 216 to it, and that will be the number of spoons manufactured. So AXB had a total of 105, sure. Ali had twice as many as X, okay. So Ali, 2u, X, 1u, and Bali had twice as many as Ali. So whatever Ali had, double that, that's 4 units. And the total is 105. So we can say that, okay, 7 units is therefore 105. 1 unit divided by 7, that's 15. Then look at this side here, we're interested in Bali's share, that's 4 units. So that's 4 times 15, giving us 60. A class of students were asked to choose a favorite color each. 20% chose blue. Now, so far we have been quite lucky to be working with simple fractions, but now we have a percentage. So in P5 you will learn this, that 20% actually means 20 over 100, also means 2 over 10, also means 1 over 5. So this looks slightly more familiar. 1/5 chose blue. So that's what we're going to reflect. 1/5 chose blue. 1/3 chose pink. So straight away we realize that the total number of students should not be 5 and 3, it should be 15 units. So there's a third color, which means we can take one whole, which is 15 out of 15, minus the blues, minus the pinks, and then we get the greens, and the question asks for the fraction, and that's the answer. Darren had a sum of money. He spent 1/4 of the money on a shirt. Gave John half of it. So again, we have to turn our denominators to 4 and had $100 left. Now, knowing that this adds up to 3/4, what's left in terms of fraction? 1/4. And that, we are told, represents 100 actual dollars. So 1 unit is therefore 100 actual dollars. 1 unit, $1. Sorry, $100. How much did Darren have at first, which means we're interested in the total, one whole, which is 4 units. So 100 times 4 gets us $400. And now we have our first level 2 question. Let's see how much more difficult it is. Aaron bought some blues, yellows, and greens. The blue was 48 longer than the yellow. Okay, so before that, I noticed that we are dealing with centimeters and meters. So the sensible thing to do is to convert everything in centimeters when we are doing our working, and pay attention to the fact that your final answer has to be in meters. So let's begin. Get that out of the way. Okay, so B is 48 cm longer than yellow, so B will be 1 unit. Yellow will be less because B is longer, yeah? Which means Y is shorter. How much shorter? 48 cm shorter. Next, the green is double the length of the blue. So I hope you can see how this makes sense. B is 1 unit, G is double of that. And yellow is 48 shorter than blue. And given that the total was 12 meters, but we're not using meters, we're using centimeters. Okay, so let's form an equation. 4u minus 48 is 1200. Now just push the 48 to the right side, that's an addition. And 1 unit is derived from taking 1248 divided by 4. Question, what's the length of the yellow ribbon? That's 1u minus 48. Therefore, that's 312 minus 48. And because we've been working in centimeters, we have to convert that to meters by dividing by 100. X contains 4 times as many as Z. Okay, so X, we can write it as 4u and 1u, 4 times. Y contains half as many as Z. Now, if Y contains half as many as Z, that would be 1u divided by 2, which is not a nice number to work with. So here's an idea. Previously, the relationship here is 4 times, yeah? So I can write this as 2 units and make sure that X is 4 times, which means 8 units. Now, we can figure out what Y is because Y is half of Z. Now, half of 2 units is much nicer as a number, right? Half of 2 units is 1 unit. So this is basically using multiples to have yourself an easier time. So 8u, 2u, 1u is what we're going to use. And that the difference between 8 and 1 is 49, so we are told. Okay, so we can form an equation. 7 units is therefore equal to 49. Okay, how many marbles are there all together? We're interested in all the units, so that's 8, 2, and 1, that's 11 units. Since 1 unit is 7, that's 11 times 7, getting us 77. For this level 2 question, you need to be very comfortable with fractions. What do I mean? In terms of mixed numbers, in terms of multiplying fractions and subtracting fractions. So let's find out what we have to do here. Mrs. Tan had 4 wholes and 507 kilograms of sugar. Those are actual kilograms. She used 2/11 of the sugar to bake cookies. Hang on. Now, this is not 2/11 actual kilograms. This is actually 2 units out of a total of 11 units. So this is not subtraction actually, this is multiplication. So think of it as this actual number of kilograms is what she had at first. She used 2 units out of 11 units to make cookies. So how many units left? If you use 2 out of 11, you are left with 9/11. So think of this as 11 units and you're interested in what's 9 units out of that. Okay, next. And gave half kilograms of sugar to charity. So this is a subtraction step where you minus half actual kilograms, okay, to find out how many kilograms she had left. So let's do the first step, shall we? First thing will be, what's 9/11 of? Now, if you're not sure, of actually means multiply. Okay, so 9/11 of this. So first things first, you have to convert to an improper fraction and then you multiply, you will obtain this. Now, I know this is an improper fraction right now, so don't worry, just leave it as is. We have done the multiplication part, so let's do the subtraction part. Half actual kilograms given away, so what's left behind? So that's a subtraction of half, and you will obtain this. Make sure that your final answer is a mixed number as required in the question, in the simplest form. So that's it. For this question, we're dealing with age. So let's see, Catherine is 5 years older than Jane, so we are going to have 1 unit. Catherine, 5 years older than Jane. Jane's 1 unit. Tommy is double as old as Jane, so whatever Jane is, times 2. That's 2 units. The sum was 41. Okay, so let's form equations here. Adding everything up, that gives us 41. 4u plus 5 is 41. And 1 unit is 9. They want the difference between Tommy and Catherine. So let's find Catherine's age first, which is 1u is 9. So Tommy will be 2 units, that's 18. Catherine is 1u plus 5, that's 14. So how much older is Tommy than Catherine? So that's the difference there. Subtract and you will get 4 as your answer. There are red, blue, and yellow colored balls in a box. Half of the balls are red. So now, half are red. What about the other 2 colors? Blue and yellow. Those are going to be half as well. So I have drawn a blank because they haven't given me any information about red. But I do know that because this is half, the other 2 colors must be half as well. There are 12 blues, okay, that's a real number right there, and 3 times as many yellows. So whatever blue is, 12, that's times 3, that's 36. So right now we can tell that half of the total is actually 12 plus 36. So that's useful information right there. So if half is equal to 48, then doesn't that mean red is also 48? Because half is 48, the other half must also be 48. Okay, so question, how many balls are there altogether? So 2 units will be 48 times 2, giving us 96. Next up, Vermont spent 1/10 of his bonus on a kettle. Okay, so that's 1/10. Now, he spent another 322, so that's an actual number of dollars on the toaster. He had 560 actual dollars left. Now, if this is 1/10, the other 2 must add up to become 9 units out of 10 units. So we can form an equation with that information. So 9 units is therefore 322 plus 560. 882, we can find 1 unit because kettle, 1 unit. So divide by 9 and we will get $98. Jamie spent 1/10 of her salary on transport and 1/5 on food. So right here you can tell that the denom here is 10 and 5. So let's turn the denominator here to 10 as well. So making everything clear, transport 1/10, food 1/5, becoming 2/10. Now half of the salary to her parents, so half turns into 5/10. Now if we add them all up, that's 8/10. So what's left? The rest was saved. So hopefully it's obvious that what's saved is 2 out of 10 units. Because this is 8 out of 10, this must be 2 out of 10. Now, question part A. What fraction did she save? Answer in the simplest form. The answer is 1/5 in the simplest form. Next. Since we are told that 480 actual dollars was saved, and we know what saved was 2 units, we can form an equation. 2 units is 480 actual dollars, 1 unit is 240. Next. How much actual money was given to the parents? So that's 5 units. So that's fine. 5 units, that's 240 times 5. Okay. Next up, how much did she spend on food and transport? So food and transport is a total of 3 units, as we can tell visually because we have made everything clear. So 3 units. Since 1 unit is $240, 3 units must be 3 times $240. That's 720 actual dollars. Alex, Ben, and Carl collected 302 bookmarks in total. Alex had 18 more than Ben, so sounds like Alex will have 1 unit and 18, and Ben will have 1 unit. So this shows Alex having 18 more than Ben. Carl had 3 times as many as Alex, so whatever Alex had, multiply that by 3. Now what does that mean? That means 1u will be multiplied by 3, giving us 3u. 18 will also be multiplied by 3, giving us 54. The total is 302. So, how many bookmarks did Carl collect? Okay, we'll find that out later. First, we total everything up, becoming 302. Simplify, that's 5u. Move that 72 to the right hand side. 1u just divided by 5, you get 46. So 1u is 46. How many bookmarks did Carl collect? Because we've made everything clear, we know we want 3u plus 54. Okay, so let's find out Carl's share, which is 3u plus 54. So 1u is 46, so that's 3 times 46 plus 54, giving us 192. Sissy, Mary and Jay had some stickers. Sissy had 3 times as many as Jay, so we can show Sissy having 3 units and Jay having 1 unit. Sissy had 22 more than Mary. Now, another way to think about this is Sissy had more than Mary also means Mary had fewer. Okay, so whatever Sissy had, which is 3 units, Mary had 22 fewer. So that's minus 22. Next. M and J had a total of 58. So let's form an equation with that. That's 4 units minus 22. Notice that we are not including city. The 58 doesn't include city. Okay, so 4 unit minus 22, that's 58. Move that 22 over, that's plus 22, giving us 80. 1 unit is therefore 20. Question, how many stickers did city have? We're interested in 3 units up here. So if 1U is 20, 3U is 60. Oh, a bag costs $10 more than a cap and twice as much as a t-shirt. Now, this is a tricky way to form a sentence, but what that basically means is a bag is twice the cost of a t-shirt. Now, that is easy to work with. A bag is twice the cost of a t-shirt. At the same time, the bag is $10 more than the cap. Now, if the bag compared to the cap is $10 more, that's another way of saying that the cap is $10 less. Make sense? A bag costs $10 more, so the bag is more expensive by $10 than the cap. Another way to think about it is the cap is $10 cheaper. So whatever the bag's cost is, minus 10. And here we can form we can say that it's 120 in total. So let's form an equation with that. So that's a total of 5 units minus 10, 120, 5u 130. Remember, negative 10 becomes positive 10 on the right side. So 1 unit is $26. Question, how much more? Okay, so we are taking the difference here. Let's find the cost of the cap first, shall we? So the cost of the cap will be 2u minus 10 as shown here on the left side. Since we know 1u is 26, that's 2 times 26 minus 10, giving us $42. Now let's find the cost of the t-shirt, which is 1 unit, $26. So what's the difference between these two items? That's 42 minus 26, giving us $16. Okay, so the first level 3 question. So things are going to get a little trickier. Now, George has 9 more than 3 times that of Henry's. Hang on. First of all, what's 9 more than 3 times of Henry's? Suppose Henry has 1 unit. What's 3 times of that? That's 3 units, right? George doesn't just have 3 times of Henry. George has 9 more than 3 times of Henry. So yes, 3 times of Henry is 2 units. On top of that, George has 9 more. So quite a tricky way to phrase things. Next, Israel had 20 more. Okay, hang on. First, we need to know what is 2/3 of George. And then Israel had 20 more than that. But first, what's 2/3 of what George had? Okay, 2/3 of George's share would be 2/3 times 3u plus 9. So you're going to take 2/3 times 3 units, that's 2u, and 2/3 of 9, which is 6. Now, what does Israel have? Israel actually has 2u plus 6, yes, but on top of that, 20 more than 2/3 of George. So he actually has 2u plus 26. So again, making everything clear on the left side. Now, George actually had 13 more than Israel. So comparing George and Israel, that's 20 more. Now, hang on. Oh, sorry, 13 more. So if George has 13 more than Israel, I hope you can understand that if I add 13 to Israel, they would be the same. So if this is Israel add 13 to his share, you will have an equal, no, it will equal George's share. So let's simplify things. Now 3u and 2u, let's keep 3u on the right side, move 2u to the right side. So that's 3u minus 2u. Keep 39 on the left, bring positive 9 to the left side. That's minus 9. So that means 1 unit is 30. Okay, how many cards does Isra have? Knowing that 1u is 30, Isra, let's find 2u plus 26. So that's 2 30s plus 26, 86. So how many cards do the 3 boys have together? So we know here that we're dealing with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's a total of 6 units. Don't forget to add 26 and 9 to find the total, which is 215. Another level 3 question. Eric saves 2/5 of his salary and spends the rest. Okay, well, this we can work with, right? If 2/5 was saved, that tells us that 3/5 was spent. Now, let's see. Okay, now if Eric earns 1800, hang on. If Eric earns 1800, doesn't that represent his salary? 1800, that's 5 units, isn't it? So doesn't that mean we can find the actual amount of dollars saved and spent? Yeah, we can. So since he saves 2/5 of his salary, that's $720. Now, what's his spending then? Take his total minus his savings. That gives us his spending, Eric's spending. So I'm gonna make everything clear with a table. So Eric saved 720, spent 1080, and the total is 1800. That's his salary. Okay. Now, if Eric spends 440 more than Rebecca, and we know Eric's spending, Eric spends 440 more than Rebecca, that means Rebecca spends 440 less. So whatever Eric spent, take away 440, that's Rebecca's spending. So I'm going to write Rebecca's spending over here. Now don't forget, the question told us Rebecca saved 1/3 of her money. So if this is 1/3, doesn't that mean that this is 2/3? If 1/3 was saved, 2/3 was spent. Okay, with that information, we can say, alright, 2/3 of Rebecca's money must be 640. Question, what's her salary? We're interested in 3 units then. So that's 640 divided by 2 times 3, that's Rebecca's salary, 960. And here we go. This is the end of the topic, all the way from level 1 to level 3. So to wrap up, what's make everything clear? It's not really like a problem solving technique. It's more like a good habit of arranging your information in such a way that helps you organize your thoughts, and to make sure that it's easier for you to be careful and not lose track, especially for tougher questions like this, where you have numbers all over the place and you are supposed to keep track of information. And of course, the way to do that, what I'm advocating for, is that you make everything clear. That's it. Have a good day.